Hi there, this is Mrs. Marion. Today I want to give you a tour of what a unit is structured like in physical science. Now, some of you might not recognize my name. You might have Mrs. Longbrake or Miss Erfurt as your physical science teacher, and that's okay because Mrs. Erfurt and Mrs. Longbrake and we plan together. And so their Schoology pages look identical to mine because we collaborate and work together as a team. So today I am going to give you a tour of what a typical unit looks like in physical science on Schoology. So I'm going to scroll down my page. Now it does look a little different than yours because it is the teacher page, and so I've got some extra buttons, but just ignore those things. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom, and I'm going to click here on Unit 1, Barrel of Mysteries. So this is going to be our first unit. You're going to be introduced to it later in the week. So if I click on this, I'm going to open up this unit. Maybe. There we go. Let that open up. And when this opens up, you'll get to see this structure. Each unit is going to be structured exactly the same way. The first thing you'll see in a unit are the essential questions. These are the questions that guide all of the activities and the learning throughout the unit. By the time we get to the end of the unit, you should be able to answer these questions in a lot of detail from what you have learned throughout the unit. The next thing that you're going to see in our list are our big ideas checklist, and we'll look at those a little closer here in a moment. But those are what you should have learned by the time we've gotten through all of these activities. And then you'll see all of the activities listed. In this particular unit, we have 7 of them. All right, so we'll take a look at how those are structured as well. All right, so we have our essential questions, and then we have our big ideas checklist. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So we'll open this up. All right, so you can see this opens up a Google Sheets, and what we have listed in this Google Sheets, we have it organized by activity. We have these little boxes in the center, and we'll talk about those in a moment. And then we have what we call I can statements. These are things that as you finish each activity that you should be able to do if you've successfully completed each activity. These check boxes are for you so that as you go through, you can keep track of what you've learned or maybe what things you might need to ask questions about because you don't quite understand them. These will also be used to create the assessments that you'll take at the end of the unit. So if you want to know what's on a test or if you want a study guide, you already have it. This would be your study guide for the test. This is what you should be able to do. These are where my questions would come from when I write those assessments. All right, so you'll see that most of these statements are not highlighted. Those statements are content statements, but there's a couple here on this list that are highlighted in purple. Those are highlighting skills that you will be learning in each of the activities as well. Scientific skills, scientific literacy that we will be using throughout the year, no matter what content we are learning about. So you can scroll through those and take a look. All right, and so that is our whole unit. By the end of the unit, you should have checks in all of those boxes when we complete those. So let's go ahead and leave this area. And we're going to go back out into our unit main page. All right, and then we're going to take a look at what an activity looks like. So let's go ahead and take a look at how an activity is formatted. Now, each activity is going to have you do something different, but they are all formatted very similarly. All activities will start with an activity guide. This will help you to understand how to complete and what needs to be submitted in each of the activities. So you can see for this one, in order to successfully complete this activity, you have to complete the Activity 1 Hazardous Materials CAMI assignment. This is going to take you through some questions and labs that you're going to do. We'll talk more about that later next week, or later in this video actually. And then you'll also complete a concept check. Every activity ends with a concept check. The concept checks are set up to go over the big ideas from that activity to test to make sure that you understand them. They are a quiz, but they're a quiz that you get to take twice, and the best grade sticks in gradebook. So make sure you're prepared for those before you go and take them. All right, so let's go ahead and explore in activity 1, a Kami, because I want to make sure you know how to open it. So I go into this. This is the first thing I'm going to do in this activity, and it looks like it's a PDF, and this is why I want to show it to you. You do not want to click on the blue. You actually want to click on this little window that opens and says Open Assignment with Kami. That's important because we actually want to use the program Kami to fill out this assignment. So we're going to give it a second to open up. And you'll see our worksheet. So this looks like a typical worksheet you might get in class, but it's online. So here's our first one. You can see each activity on this one starts with some leading questions. And these 4 questions, you can see Mrs. Erfurt gave you some directions over here. She wants you to know that these are opening questions. We don't expect you to go and look up answers from a book. We want to know what you know. They're part of our class discussions. So you're just going to answer these with what you know, the best of your ability. Okay, so there's nothing, you don't worry about getting anything wrong. These are just introductory questions to start our conversations. So when you come in here to get started and you're going to do your leading questions, all you need to do is double click in the white space and it opens up a text box for you. And you can just start typing your answer in. Some of the neat features of Kami, if you go up here on this bar, you'll see that there's a little microphone. You could actually click in here and start talking, and it'll start typing for you. So it's kind of neat. All right. There are also some tools here on the side. You can do text-to-speech. So if you would like it to read to you, you can scroll over the words, and Kami will read it to you. I don't think it wants to read it to you because I'm making a video, but it will read it to you. You can add comments. Your comments can be video comments. You can see it's opening up that for me. They can just be talking comments. You can highlight. You can annotate. So we're going to cancel that here for a second. All right. You can add text boxes wherever you want, and you can change colors and fonts. You can add equations. You can do drawing tools, add shapes. You got your eraser. You can insert images. So if there's a question and you want to go find an image off the internet or a picture you've taken and you want to upload that into here, you can do that. So it's got a lot of options for you. All right, so Kami is really neat. As you go through, you'll see that she's got the challenge question highlighted. Anytime you see something highlighted, it's because there's a comment that goes with it. So these challenge questions just tell you what the goal of the activity is. They're not a question you actually answer. Each activity has a challenge question. As we scroll down here, you can see we've got a big blank space. It says the Barrel of Mysteries video. And so in this space, this is where you're going to write down some observations you make from the video. Again, you just double click, and your video is located over here. And you would click on that link and watch the video. As we continue to scroll down, you'll see here, we've got observing hazardous waste. There's going to be another video that goes with this, and you'll write down your observations in here as well. So it'll be very interactive. And then your analysis questions and such. All right, so this is an activity guide that you will be working on next week. So let's go ahead and move back out. All right, so that's how our first activity in our Kami works. All right, and again, you'll complete that activity. You'll get feedback from us. We'll talk about it. And then you'll complete the concept check. That's kind of like your exit out of the activity. All right. And then we'll go back to our Unit 1, Barrel of Mysteries. And then we would move into Activity 2 and so forth. And Activity 2 would be set up exactly the same way. I hope this video helped you understand how we will be setting up activities in physical science. If you have any questions, just email your teacher. Thank you.